Al Kadosh Boker Or. Bekiim Halacha 4, day 53, page 133, Siman Kavzain, Siman 27, Halacha Yutet. Number 19. No object or substance may interfere with or block the contact of the tefillin with the skin. Meaning the tefillin have to be directly on the skin of the human being. This applies to both tefillin shel yad and tefillin shel rosh. Because the Torah says it has to be on your arm, and the tefillin shel rosh has to be between your eyes. So therefore it's mamash on the body. You cannot have anything else. Oh, 1 second. So what about even dust can be a chatzitza? So he says in Halacha 20, even if there's something blocking the contact of a small portion of the tefillin with the person's skin, such as a bit of dirt or a louse, whether alive or dead. Right? You know what a louse is? Lice. Yeah? So he says it's like lice, right? Mamash, any type of thing. It constitutes a chatzitza that he does not fulfill the mitzvah. Okay, and therefore it's best to remove even the thinnest layer of dust, even if it's not noticed when touched. Therefore, if someone is exposed to dust storm, he should rinse off his hair before putting on the tefillin. Right. Also, everyone must make sure, right, that the underside of the titura is absolutely clean, which means the underside of the tefillin of the bite should be clean. There's particularly an issue among those people who apply gel to their hair. Before long, there's a bound to be a layer of gel and strays of hair glued to the bottom of the titura of the tefillin shalosh, and this constitutes a chatzitza.
Wow, that's meaning you cannot put gel.
You have to be careful if it's not after putting on the tefillin. Yeah. Likewise, it is important. Yeah, you even answer him. He says, likewise, it's important.
Because you want to put gel. Yeah.
Likewise, it's important to dry one's arm and head well after bathing before putting on the tefillin. Otherwise, the water might be considered chatzitzat, and the tefillin must be resting on one's skin. Once someone dries his head with a towel, there's no longer a problem of chatzitza, even if his hair is damp. Okay, fine. Next, technically, perspiration. What about sweat? Technically, perspiration does not constitute chatzitza. Nevertheless, if someone has perspired heavily, he must dry the sweat from his head and arm to show respect for the tefillin. After he has put on the tefillin, it does not matter if there's more sweat that continues on the skin. Here he quotes an Od Yosef Chai. Okay, but he says that there it's a kilu that it is considered chatzitza, but it's incorrect. Fine. If someone is in a very hot location, right, and he perspired heavily while wearing his tefillin, he should make sure to dry the bottoms of the batim very well after he takes them off before putting them away. But if he doesn't, exactly, because if he doesn't dry them, so then what happens is that the moisture might actually damage the tefillin. Meaning that, let's say, for example, a person was sweating away. He takes them off. If he puts them in the box right away, you didn't give it time to dry. You didn't give it so therefore it could actually damage the tefillin. Why?
You know when somebody like they exercise and they sweat and then it dries, it creates like some like white salt line. You ever seen that?
No.
You've never seen somebody wear a hat.
Yeah. The line. Yeah.
Line of, it's the sweat.
Yeah.
Salt.
So you're saying that's what it is. It's salt. Okay.
Salt can be a hatita.
It could be. Okay. Next, Halacha 22. It is best to avoid positioning any part of the tefillin strap underneath the bite. Meaning, right? For example, this we spoke about. I think I told you about it. You have the bite here, right? Right over here. I cannot put any part of the strap underneath that bite. This box, the box is called the bite. Yeah, like the house. Right, has to be directly on the skin. No part of the straps can be underneath that part of the bite. Okay, although both the bite and the straps are made from the same material. Because I would have thought to say, listen, if it's the same material, it's not a chatzitza. He says no. Besides the halachic issue that Oziel thought that it's incorrect according to the Kabbalah. Okay, 23. If someone has ink marks on his arm, they do not constitute a chatzitza because it's only a discoloration. They do not block contact between the tefillin and the skin. This is halacha even if the marks were not made from cosmetic purposes. Paint that does form a layer on top of the skin is a chatzitza. So number 144 says the Piskei Teshuvot comes and he adds the name of Minchat Aaron. It's recommended to wash away the marks for the honor of the tefillin of the beracha. But what happens if a person has a tattoo? So the Minchat Yitzchak discussed the question presented by a young man who once had the image of a woman without clothing tattooed on his arm. So now, right, he had become observant and he wanted to know how could he wear the tefillin on top of the tattoo. So the Rav told him to cover the entire image with a piece of leather, cutting out a window on which he would place the tefillin. That way, even if the tefillin slips away from the window at any point, he may rely upon the opinion the leather is not a chatzitza. But the B'tzelach Chochmah ruled that it's not permissible to place the tefillin on an abominable image. This is not a kosher image. No, any woman is not the thing. No. Therefore, the person must destroy the image by tattooing the lines over it until it's not recognizable. He may not cover the image with letters or other pictures. However, in that way, it's demonstrated that it is intended to destroy the original image. right? In the following response time, he comes another solution. He could cover the image with ink and then wash off the ink from the skin so that only the color that has been absorbed remains. In this way, there's no Hatziza, right? And the unwanted image is no longer visible. And this, again, is not really practical, but again, you do have it over there.